Hello, everyone. I am Herbert's boyfriend. My name is Dylan, and welcome to the Baddies podcast.
Enrique?
And Jonathan. So, yeah, Dylan, you sounded so hot for us. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. Herbert has never sounded that cool.
Attractive, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why you started, like, being more sexual on the sexual side. I know it's kind of getting dark, and I don't know. Do you have,
Fall's coming. So I don't know.
Fall's coming. But what's your favorite time of season, Dylan?
My favorite time of season is actually winter.
Spring.
Winter is around the
It's just the best, right? Because you get to wear your sweaters, you get to just be all cuddly and stuff. Like me and Herbert, sometimes we just like to just cuddle sometimes.
Feel the vibe, right?
Yeah, of course. You just kind of like just cuddle, watch some movies, pop some popcorn.
Do you like snow though?
Yes.
No, I'm being serious. Do you like
Whoa. So
what
I've
about
been
fresh snow? Have you had fresh snow?
I've been to snow before, and this was many years ago, and it's great. Sure, it's wet, which I love, but it's great. The only problem is that if somebody hasn't been to snow, they're like, "Oh, I'm just so wet and just so cold," and I was like, "What do you expect?"
Okay, but
it's just not proper gear.
But
if you have proper gear,
that's
you're
what.
fine. Number one. Number two.
Yeah.
If it's fresh snow or not, it makes a big difference. I've had snow here in Azusa in the mountains when it's snowing, and it's like, almost like rocks. It's hailing.
Just hard snow. Yeah.
Yeah. So when I was in Missouri, it rained soft snow. Like it felt like cotton candy. Like it was melting in my hand and in my mouth. I did a snow angel and everything because I was a fucking weirdo, but I did it, and it was crazy. But I've never had that before. So real snow or like hard snow.
I've never made a snowman before.
Dude,
me neither.
Well, you get wet if you don't have the right gear.
Yeah,
like if you make a snowman, you
Yeah.
get wet for sure. But it's kind of cool to have like it's more for the Instagram pictures or the TikTok, like you name it. It's more for the reels or whatever. But doing a snowman, it's kind of like a. Have you guys ever done a bath, like a ice bath?
Oh, I want to.
Nah, I've done a bubble bath.
Bubble bath is different, but
Same.
an ice bath is kind of like you kind of don't want to be wet, but it's cold, so it's like
No, that whole challenge is mental.
But I do,
I've never not wanted to be wet.
Okay,
that's what she said.
But you know what I do like about winter though, and since you brought up winter, I do like hot coffees, like lattes. Like I kind of like the vibe,
soups.
Even teas.
Pozole, ramen, pho.
Soup, man.
Oh, all the soups.
Oh,
all the
ramen.
soups.
Look, there's only good things about winter, right? You get to be cold. You don't have to put the heat on. I mean, sometimes, right? But, for example, those people that live in Southern California, right? It's always hot. So you have to, pay a higher bill to have the AC on. You have to have fans on or whatever, right? But when it's winter, there's just easier ways
You open up the windows, you get the fresh
You open
breeze.
up the windows, you go on a hike, you go camping, you have some coffee, you have, some chai tea.
You have a bonfire, bro.
You have a bonfire, you get the cuddles, you know what I mean? Like, it's just the best.
It's a vibe.
Yeah.
I'll start with that.
Once it's May 26th, I'm already counting down until next Christmas.
May 26th?
Yeah, because May 25th is, December 25th.
I was like, May is the summer, dog. Like,
May is spring. Already,
okay, well,
right?
it's about to be summer.
But when it's December, right? December 25th, right? That's kind of when everyone's like, Christmas is over, so there goes winter, right? But at December 26th, I start thinking, I'm like, okay,
I usually go snowboarding on the 25th or 26th. Because that's when everything is open, and I still spend time with family in the nighttime. But in the mornings, afternoon, I go snowboarding with Carlos. Fucking the homie Carlos isn't here right now, but Carlos, he's the one I go with. I've been telling
those
Jonathan,
of you that don't know, not every culture celebrates Christmas.
That's true.
At night, right? Like
oh,
you open up,
as a Mexican, Hispanic, whatever, we open up at midnight.
Yeah,
most families
on the 24th, right?
On the 24th midnight, which is 25th, but. Most families, traditionally, you have to wake up in the morning of the 25th.
Yeah,
and then you open presents.
That's how we used to do it, yeah.
But I never did that.
Yeah, but winter is a good time, though. The only thing I hate about winter is, like, if let's say, like, we're going somewhere, right? And I forget my sweater or whatever you name it, then it kind of sucks because you cannot, like you cannot take off, like layers, you know what I mean? So it's, like, kind of like...
Yes, I agree.
You're, like, me and Enrique have cycled in the winter, and it sucks because, like, if you don't have the right layers, like, you're you're like, for reals, it's cold. It's cold.
Your eyes, your hands, your fingers, everything's done.
And I'm gonna tell you one thing: if your hands are cold when you're cycling, guess what? You might be screwed if you're going downhill because you need your hands to
you
brake.
have to react. You have to brake.
Well, all I have to say is, I biked to work
I'll get out
Oh,
of here.
in
no,
the
no,
in,
dude, no,
in
no.
winter in the rain.
In flat
Okay,
platform.
like
That's
it-
nothing.
It's
Look,
Look,
I
it's
understand.
tragic, but it
I-
doesn't compare to a mountain.
I understand where you're coming from, but
No,
it's just one of
screw
those
you.
things
Let's
that you
fight right
have to
now.
know what environment you're in.
okay,
Let's fight.
Dylan, when you're going like 30 miles an hour downhill,
He's
and
never-
your
he's never doing
your
that.
hands are cramping up because of coldness, because that happened to me recently with Carlos. It's scary. It's not a fun experience. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Going downhill is the best experience because going uphill sucks because it's a workout. But going downhill is a different animal. And recently, me and Carlos went up to GMR, and I was dressed up as a summer. Like, I'm a cycle in summer, right? And Carlos was dressed up like he's in a cycle in winter. Well, guess what? I was cold. Carlos wasn't, because he was dressed up like with like freaking leggings all the way down and long sleeves, and I was dressed up like with the t-shirt with the bibs. If you know about cycling, yeah, like you sweat going up, but coming down when you're going 30 miles an hour, like it starts getting cold. And I'm telling you something, if you're going up elevation, hiking, running, you name it, be careful because elevation changes the weather. And me and Enrique have dealt with this.
Many times.
Yeah, like we've been down in the city and it's like drizzling. And when you go up elevation, guess what? It's gonna rain up there. I'm talking about 1,000 feet, 2,000 feet, 3,000 feet, you name it.
And Bald is like 8,000 feet, 9,000 for
Yeah,
perspective.
so
Like, that's a big mountain, but even the smaller mountains do experience all this.
So you want to be careful. Always check the weather. But yeah, like you're right. Dylan, do you like when you go to stores and they start bringing out like in advance, like all the holiday stuff and like
Christmas or
in
Halloween?
advance, bro, like 2-3 months in
Halloween?
advance. Yeah.
So that's a gimmick. I mean, it's just like
It kinda
Valentine's
kills the
Day, right?
vibes.
It's just the Valentine's Day, right? They start like promoting it, way ahead of time.
I think
or
they killed the
whatever.
vibes for me.
But
Look, Halloween is like a month and a half away. Is there Halloween stuff being sold right now? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yes.
It was been sold for
it's
a
all
while.
marketing, right? It's all marketing. They have to make their money because they know people are gonna buy it, right? Because it's coming up. Even though if people have all that stuff already, they're gonna buy it anyway, right? But when you start feeling the season, like right now, you walk outside,
It feels like fall.
In some parts of Southern California, you go and you feel it's cool, right? So you start feeling that winter vibe coming in, right? That fall winter vibe, which is great, right? Because over here in Southern California, it's just too damn hot, right?
It's hot. Okay, San Francisco. What's the temperature in San Fran? I know you lived in San Fran.
So right now in San
like,
Francisco is probably like 50 degrees regularly. So I lived up there for about 3 years, I want to say. And year round, it was from 50 to 60 and 70. And I don't know, people in Southern California are not going to believe this, but hot in San Francisco is 70 degrees. Like you feel yourself starting to sweat and you're like,
At 70.
Yeah, at 70, like I used to live by the beach. And 70, you see like all these surfers and all these like
Azusa
people.
is like 98,
Oh man,
97.
like 98
Okay.
to 100 degrees. It's
110.
like, oh Jesus Christ.
But I noticed that where you live, like let's say when you came from, because you were living there for a while for San Francisco, when you come back to like Azusa, like you start feeling it's hot. But like I guess your body adjusts to where you're living at. Because I have like my sister lives up in the mountains, and over there they don't use like sweaters and stuff. But when they come down to Azusa, they look at us weird, like, why you guys have sweaters? Like, it's freaking hot. But it's like, I think you just develop, like, I don't know, like,
You
it's
get
kind
used
of
to
like,
it. Your body gets used
your
to
body
it.
gets used to it. The exposure, every time I go traveling somewhere, the first 2 days or the day and a half, whatever you name it, it's like the temp. I got to get it adjusted to the temperature because sometimes where I go to places like Iceland, let's say, it was cold. But it's like I had to adjust the weather. But guess what? I had to make sure. I know you guys are laughing because we were talking about this earlier, but it's just you have to wear the right gear. Like Enrique said, always have the right gear.
Always.
Like,
yeah.
because you also feel miserable for sure. And then feeling miserable is not the best feeling you ever have.
Yeah, it's not a joke. I mean, when you're going to different climates or whatever, you have to make sure that you have the correct
Gear?
Gear, equipment, whatever. Because if if you're camping, and you're camping in the cold and you have a 6-person tent, some people think that is comfortable or whatever. But if you're in the cold, that's not good, right? Because you have to think about body heat, right?
I love body heat. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, if it's one,
no, body heat is cool because
one, two, maybe 3 bodies, right? That's different. But
you and Herbert do a lot of body heat because you guys are dating.
Herbert and I, like
it's a separate story.
Yeah, I mean, like we have our
first of all, back off because he's mine. So just first of all,
so Herbert and I have our adventures, right? But that's completely different. We'll talk about that in another podcast. But those tents and stuff, I mean, it's completely different. They're rated in different ways. I worked in a spot in San Francisco called Sports Basement, and I sold.
That's a like a REI compared to over here. Dick's Sporting Goods.
Yeah,
right?
but it's more like NorCal. It's a small company, whatever. But their stuff, it's very centered for a lot of people going outdoors and stuff. So sold all kinds of stuff: skis, snowboards, camping tents and stuff like that. And the actual tents, I learned a lot about that. But the smaller tent you have, the better for the cold, because your body heat likes to actually spread, so you're able to stay a lot warmer.
How much body heat can body produce?
Well,
radiation.
No, I mean,
Herbert and
that's
I,
a great question.
We can radiate a lot of body heat.
Like if we all hug right now, like 3 guys or whatever, hug. Like how much body heat can we produce? Like, can we keep ourselves warm in the winter?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, we can.
But
what's the degrees? Like Enrique's gonna look it up, but I'm kind of curious. Like, what's the degrees that we could keep each other warm for?
I'm not sure, but I mean, one of the main things is a lot of people seeing those aluminum-ish kind of
like a
warm blankets.
Yeah,
right?
I heard of those.
Yeah.
Like the emergency ones. Yeah.
Those are really good. I've actually tried them in 30 to 40 degree weather, and those are really, really, really good.
You know what they do when they ran a marathon? Like a lot of people, because your body's like really hot. They give you the blanket on top, and then you cool down, but it keeps you kind of warm in your body heat. One thing though too, and I know we talked about this in the previous podcast, down jackets. I never knew that down jackets until I started traveling.
They're effective.
Dude, they're crazy, bro.
So I sold a lot of down jackets, and they're very expensive because they have
the feathers, the feathers in them. Inside. Yeah, goose feathers,
and they actually they compress in a way that actually keeps a lot of the heat in, and you can actually store them pretty easily.
But if they get wet, then the all the effects of the goose feathers, it's ruined. Like that's why you have to wear 2 different layers. You have to wear like your down jacket, and then you have to wear a rain jacket on top of that, which is called an outer jacket.
One of the main reasons for that is for that exact reason, right? Because the down goose feathers that they use are the ones that are like closer to the skin of the goose, which is under the initial layer, which repels water, right? So regular goose, when it rains or whatever, the water rolls down off of them, and it doesn't reach those smaller feathers, which are the ones that are used in down sweaters.
Yeah, it's crazy, and it's expensive though. Like if you get down goose down jackets versus like synthetic down jackets, like you're talking about $100 difference or more. But I always tell people, if you're gonna buy something, if you're gonna use it a lot, it's always like, I know there's been like TikToks about this, but it's always like kind of understand what you're buying and where you're buying it from. Like we always like REI, me and Enrique, and
the brand, yeah.
Well, the brand and the store, because you could have like, if you're a membership, you could have like a 1-year return policy, even if it's used.
I have the credit card, and every year I get to buy something really expensive because I get like $60, $100.
Well, you get more
free money.
Dividends. You get more dividends, yeah.
So I get free money, so I can spend $100 every year
on some cool stuff,
on whatever what I want. So it's really cool.
So, but Enrique, did you have anything about the Baddies heat or no? Or did you?
Oh, well, I Googled what the average person releases in heat. This probably won't make sense to a lot of people, but it's like 2,500 kilojoules.
What the hell? Kilojoules. Convert that to
so that's what I'm saying. Like people don't know what kilojoules are, but that's fine. But the point is that humans release heat, and they release 2,500 on average kilojoules. And
I feel like, to be honest, if we all like 3 guys hug here in the room, I feel like we could release up to like 10 Fahrenheit. Like we could bring it like cool, like hotter, you know, that we could cool each other down, which is like getting hotter, like 10 Fahrenheit. That's what I think. But I don't know. It could be wrong. It could be right. But yeah, like it's crazy though. So whenever you're walking in the store and you see like different jackets, I know Dylan worked in the actual like REI store, to say, like a different REI store. What was the store called?
Sports Basement.
Okay, so Sports Basement. So let's say he worked there. He knew what was going on. He knows what was going on with
when it comes to snowboarding boot sizes and hiking shoes. Like he know what's up.
So he knew the bindings, everything, and what size. Even if for hiking shoes, like we know this, for hiking shoes, we have to get like a half size bigger, because when you're going downhill, you don't want your toes to be touching the end of the
shoe.
the shoe. So you basically have to get a shoe size like half size bigger.
You have to find the size that fits you though, because I don't want you to trust that a half size is better, but like you have to look for the shoe that works for you.
That's actually a good point, right? Because I was actually an expert at fitting ski and snowboard boots, right?
That's crazy. Yeah,
so
we talked about that.
Those, most people, when they try to fit for them, you know, they're like, oh, these feel really tight, right? Because how we fit them for the perfect size, right? So when you are skiing or you know, snowboarding, you're gonna be at kind of like bending your knees, right? Which actually a lot of people don't know, but it pushes your feet back when you bend your knees, so your toes are going to be pressing on
squished
on the front. So when you actually fit them, the boots are made to fit around your feet after you've been using them. So if you ever go and
they get molded into it,
yeah, exactly. So when you go and get fitted into ski or snowboard boots, don't get surprised when they feel a little bit tight, because that is the point, right? If we measure your feet, if we measure your feet and it says a 10, you're gonna get fitted into a 9.5 or a 10 specifically because of that extra comfort. So
the cushion has to get used to your feet. Yeah.
Yes, it's a cushion for the. Oh, no, I'm just saying. No, that's something else, but yeah. So one thing though, I want to say, Herbert's not here. Happy 1 year anniversary, Herbert and Tina.
And birthday. So Herbert, his birthday was 9/11. You know, it wasn't a day that he didn't know what was going to happen, but we did surprise him though. We did surprise him with he wasn't expecting anything, and his girl surprised him, Tina, with a surprise vacation to Lake Tahoe with the bestest of friends, with his good friends. We couldn't invite too many people, but like we invited like a full truckload. But Lake Tahoe, and
we took the van. So I want to say thank you to everybody. Monica, my fiance, Tina, you know, and Enrique. Enrique drove like 5 hours going there. He said he wasn't tired, but I told Enrique, hey, you know, we gotta help each other out. You know,
and we did a good job. Me and Jonathan together made that mission happen.
I always say teamwork makes the dream work. So
yeah, absolutely.
We helped each other out, and then we cooked. We had a kind of asada out there. We had a good time, and I feel like it was just
kayaking, paddleboarding. I just hiking to some beautiful waterfalls.
Yeah, dude, the water in Lake Tahoe, it's clear.
It's beautiful. It's clean.
Like Enrique knows that
it's clean.
And we paddle, like he said, we paddleboard, we kayak. The water was cold, but guess what? It ain't gonna stop us.
You jump in anyways. You have to, no matter what. You have to jump in, because if you don't, like, you're never gonna be there again. And if you are, like, it doesn't matter.
Like, yeah, when are we gonna go back to like Lake Tahoe? I do want to go back to, because I want to go hiking to like larger peaks. But we did go to some waterfalls. We went to Emerald Bay, which is where we saw the waterfall and we saw like the cave and stuff. It was pretty awesome to see. There was kind of not a lot of people, so it was kind of cool. We went to some breweries out there because, you know, you got to check out the vibe and feel the difference. And it's crazy because we're able to cross over to Nevada. And in Nevada, so mind you, like, I'm not a gambler. I'm straight up. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not a gambler.
Me neither.
Yeah, me and Enrique, I don't know if Dylan gambles, but I'm not a gambler. But we went to the casino, and some of our friends won, dude. Some of our friends won, and it was a great time, bro. Like, they literally won a good amount, bro. Like, it was insane.
Crazy how they won. Like, honestly,
like, me and Enrique were kind of like
a movie about this.
Like, me and Enrique were kind of like, I want to be a gambler now. Like, low
dude,
key,
I wanted to, because they want money, dude. They want money.
Like, they were able to almost pay off their whole trip with the gamble money, and it was insane. Like, we had good food though. We had carne asada. We cooked out one night. Remember, Enrique? We had, even for breakfast, we had chorizo con huevos. Cause like every time I travel, I kind of want to cook like inside before we start our trip because it's a long days.
I agree. I enjoy it. I think it's better to cook inside. Like people like to go to restaurants all the time, but I think find some food, find the recipe, cook in the house, cook in the Airbnb, and have a bomb breakfast, a bomb lunch, and then eat out for dinner. Because cooking at home just makes it so much cooler. Everyone gets engaged. Everyone has fun. All the ingredients and like, look, all these dishes.
Dylan, do you like chorizo? Like straight up, do you like chorizo or no?
That's one of the best things.
Oh,
in the world.
dude, I thought you were.
Chorizo con huevo though with eggs.
I have a gripe, right? I wasn't invited to this situation, and I think it's basically because I was her. Me and Herbert have a very let's just say
what like a
connected relationship.
Oh yeah, you guys are together, but Tina doesn't know that you guys are together.
We're very close. I just hope Tina's not listening to this.
No, Tina isn't gonna listen to this, but I know you and Herbert have some communication. I don't know if you guys ever like slept in beds together, but I have slept with
We're very close. I just say that.
But yeah, I'm sorry, dude. It was someone else that invited the friends, right? But
so
I wish I would have had.
They're talking about cooking and everything, but they don't invite Herbert's very close friend. Let's just call it that, and the chef.
That's true. You're right. You are a chef,
right? They're talking about cooking and everything, but they don't invite the chef.
Okay. If I would invite you to Lake Tahoe, right? Let's say we have a Lake Tahoe trip. What would you have cooked for the friends? And I'll tell you what we cooked. Because we went to Lake Tahoe, so...
Well, the first thing I would have done is I would have checked the local markets for what the local thing is. And then from there, we would have gone there. From there, because when you're a chef, and I'm not going to say just chefs, right? But just basically anybody, right? When you're looking for things to cook, you can look at the local things and you can make something up. And I always tell people, when you're cooking, look at the things that you like to make and try to marry those things together. When you put those things together... That's when you can make something good. It doesn't have to be something you read on a recipe from, the Home Network or whatever the hell,
the Food Network.
Yeah. That's
or
all
like
called
the YouTube
right?
channel.
Yeah.
I understand. Like
you don't have to Google none of those things, right? Just put things together, try it. If it doesn't come out the way you like it, cool. Change it next time.
Look, I'm the same. I follow you. I agree with you. I feel like every time we go travel somewhere, I want to try what they eat.
The culture.
There. Yeah, like the culture. Because if I don't know what they eat, then I don't know what to like base it off of, like the SoCal side, right? But I know that we went to a local meat market and we had carne asada and the beef ribs, like kind of like KBBQ, like Korean barbecue. So I was able to grill it. I never posted the...
I can't believe you say KBBQ.
Okay, sorry, my bad. Korean barbecue. But,
who says that?
Dude, I say that, right? But I know we had like the ribs, like the thin sliced ribs. Me and Enrique were able to like thank Enrique for helping me out, but we were kicking outside.
Always.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Whenever you're at a party and you're cooking, like you should taste what you're cooking.
Yeah.
Like me and Enrique were
the food has to be perfect. The food has to be perfect. You have to taste it. And
if you don't taste it, then that's bad, right? As a chef, I'm not a chef, but you have to taste your food.
That's the main part of cooking. Like, I always tell everyone tells me, how did your food come out good? It's because as you're cooking, you're tasting. That is the main rule.
Fundamental rule.
But how am I going to tell someone it tastes good if I haven't tasted, right? That's like kind of saying like,
yeah, you can't do that.
That's bad.
So one of the main things when a chef is cooking, and most chefs, when they're cooking at home, they eat, just healthy, just regular stuff. But when they're working, they'll eat, like fast food and stuff like that. But when we're cooking, once we're done cooking, we're not even hungry because we've tasted so much. If we're trying something new,
that's true.
We've tasted it so many times that we're not even hungry by the time we're done.
So trip on this. Every time I cook for someone or I do steaks or I do barbecue, sometimes I don't like people say like, oh, come eat your plate. And it's like, dude, like I was trying it while you guys were like waiting for me to cook, right? So sometimes I don't get like that satisfaction. Sometimes when you're cooking for someone, like you don't get.
It's about them.
It's like
you serve them first.
It's like, have you ever heard like it's better when someone else makes a sandwich for you than you make your sandwich? Why?
Yes.
Like why is that? Like Why is that like?
It's an
There's
act of
something-
appreciation.
There's something about someone else cooking for you. So, for example, as a chef, I mean, like when I eat by myself, I'll eat brown rice, I'll eat salad. People tell me that's boring, right? But when I cook for someone else, I'll make, some Chinese noodles. I'll make, some Chinese dumplings. I'll make, a really bad pasta, like I'll make some really, like crazy things.
Exquisite flavor. The
Freaking
flavor has to
desserts,
be
I'll make
different.
cheesecakes.
The
I'll
flavor
make
has to throw them off.
I'll make chinchillas, I mean, like I'll make all kinds of different things, right? But when I'm cooking for myself, it's just boring, right? But if I'm cooking for someone else,
It's fun.
it's fun. There's an adventure to it.
And I want to bring something up, and Dylan, you could back me up with this, dude. I never knew that garlic is like basically, well, salt too for sure, but garlic, it's crazy, bro. Like garlic is
It
in
brings out
every
flavors.
it's in every fruit, not fruit,
Every
food.
dish, almost
What am I talking about? Yeah, it's you can eat garlic, in
dish,
different-
dish.
but like basically like garlic. If you don't have garlic in a dish, like what's going on, right, Dylan? Like garlic is insane. I know you buy garlic because I buy the
And
natural
nobody
garlic.
understands it because it just smells strong. It tastes strong, but when you cook with it, it makes all the difference.
'Cause
So a lot of people they think of garlic and they think that doesn't smell good. It doesn't smell nice
or taste
right?
good because they'll
But-
taste it.
But the way that you make garlic, it's great, and it's got a lot of really good healthy properties. Garlic is actually an antiseptic, so you can use that on wounds. You can use it on a lot of different things, and it actually helps your system just kind of process foods a lot.
We
So-
should start planting garlic. Like how does it grow? Like we should start planting it. Like is it on the ground?
I actually know somebody that has actually planted garlic, and it's been super easy, and it's come out really good, really potent. And but garlic, it's
I know that
really
last
good.
time we talked about garlic. I know you buy your garlic already. Like you buy it from Kirkland. It's already like peeled and all that good stuff.
So I'll buy my garlic. Sometimes I'll buy it fresh, depending what I'm making. But I like those tubs where the garlic is already chopped and just kind of kind of fermented a little bit,
But why though?
because the flavor is stronger. So when you're cooking, you're getting that benefit of the garlic, but you're getting that extra flavor from it being already kind of sitting in its own like oils.
So should we just buy like garlic or like just like
It depends.
what garlic?
If you want something garlic forward, if you're making a pasta and you really want that garlic flavor to come through, you want to get some fresh garlic, right? You want to just really infuse that in there so that you get those benefits and you also get that flavor.
Okay, so I always buy it like the only time I bought garlic like that was when we went to the trip to the Lake Tahoe. Remember we bought it like already like diced up. Do you remember?
Yeah,
we
diced
brought it
garlic,
back.
yeah.
Yeah, so we brought that
Yeah, for the
garlic and
arroz,
yeah, for the arroz. So we made Mexican rice. If you guys don't know how to make it, it's a good rice to make. I like white rice too. I even like fried rice, dude. I love fried rice. Like I don't know why.
But
Like
fried rice come from cooked rice. So you,
Well, yeah,
you have
but-
to cook either Mexican rice or white rice, and then you make fried rice.
I was like, yeah, fried rice. Yeah, but I don't know what you like, but do you like brown rice? Do you like white rice? Like, what's your favorite rice? Because Dylan, like,
So I love white rice. It's amazing. Now my favorite variation of white rice is jasmine rice.
jasmine rice is bomb.
So jasmine and basmati, they're both aged rices, but the basmati rice is like the king of all rices, and it's so amazing. If you've ever had like
What? Have you ever had what, like sushi? They're saying
well,
sushi rice is different.
Sushi uses long grain regular rice, but Indian food has basmati or
Dude,
jasmine
I
rice.
love-
and
okay, I
it's-
love-
it's so good.
Kebabs, you know when they make the kebabs and they have the rice on the side, dude, that rice is so flavorful. They add like chicken.
What kind of rice
broth
is
or
that?
so- That's like
What kind of rice is that?
he said it, but
So that's either jasmine or basmati rice. Usually basmati rice for Indian food, and they'll add like cardamom and
See,
bay leaves.
that's
and
the
stuff like
rice
that.
right there. You have to know what to cook and how to cook it.
It's so good. Now I myself, I will have brown rice. One of the main reasons is for the health implications, right? Because brown rice, it actually fills you up, and people that are like exercising or whatever and want to have something that fills them up, brown rice will fill you up and give you more nutrients than regular rice.
But brown rice, so is it's basically like you said, Dylan, it's pretty healthy. So every time I go to like Wobble Grill, I always like to get rye rice like as a base.
Yeah.
Or brown rice, sorry, too. But brown rice costs like what, 50 cents more? But you're right. You're right, Dylan. If you're going for like getting the carbs or getting the good healthy carbs, then brown rice is where to go. It does fill you up. Rice fills you up. I have friends that eat rice on the daily. They have like a rice cooker, like a good rice cooker. I'm not talking about a typical, cheap cook rice cooker, but like they have good cookers that cost like $100 or $200. And it's not bad though. It's not like a bad thing that people see it. Like you could pair it with a lot of things like chicken tenders. You could pair it with like vegetables. You could, it's etc. You could pair it with even steak.
With anything.
Like whatever protein you could pair it with, like rice with, right? And it's a good carb. Sometimes I even tell people, like, have you ever tried like sweet potatoes? Sweet potatoes is good. It's a good carb. People say like, yeah, it tastes sweet. Because it's like in the name, right? It does say sweet, but it's also up to you. Because my dad, he loves sweets. Like he literally, like my dad, like when he cooks, if you ever like taste my dad's food, like he wants the sweetness to be in there, right? Unless it's like spicy, like mole, he puts a lot of like sweet, like abuelita chocolate or you name it, right? To give it that like the little.
Mole is fucking bomb.
Mole is fucking bomb too, yeah. But sometimes I tell my dad, like, give me that spicy flavor. I want to taste that spicy flavor. So it's awesome to see how much what you could do with food. And you, as a chef, bro, like, what you could bring out. Like, what to add. You know what to do. Not even that. If you're not even a chef, though, like, you could even look at the Google. Just search Google, YouTube, TikTok. You name it.
One of the main things that I tell people, look, think of all the little things that you like in food. And then just do some research on how you would like, if you want something too spicy, if you want something, like a little sweeter or whatever, just try to put those together. If it doesn't come out the perfect way that you want them the first time, that's fine. Try again and just make your own recipes. You don't have to follow the recipes that are online because if you do that, you're never going to grow. You're just going to be trying out the same things that somebody else already did.
But also, the reason that you could perfect it is that write down on your notes, on your like iPhone, or just write it down literally on a notebook, like what you done. Like is it bad to do this? Is it bad to do that? Like write down what you didn't like, what you liked.
Perfect the recipe.
So like we talked about cheesecakes earlier, me and Dylan. I literally asked him, what do you put in cheesecakes? And he said literally the same ingredients as my dad. Like he said Philadelphia cheese, eggs. I don't know if you put vanilla extract or not, but it's the same recipe. But I'm going to tell you one thing though. When someone knows how to cook, like listen to what they got to say. Like literally, like if Dylan tells you like, hey, like I tried this and that didn't work together, then listen what they got to say. Because if you don't listen, if you don't write that down, then your recipes aren't going to come out the same way. Yeah, you could look up a YouTube video on how to make pozole, how to make birria, how to make, you name it, how to make vegan birria or etc. But if you don't know how to cook it, then, dude, like it's bad. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you overcook stuff, that's bad. If you undercook it, that's bad. Like, so you have to kind of like be the judge when you're cooking and stuff. Like, so when I go, like I said, when I went to Lake Tahoe, me and Monica were like making the dishes and Enrique was helping out too, but we have to know how to cook it. The cool thing was when our friend, well, I don't know his name, but we went to the carniceria, which is basically a meat market, like a Mexican meat market. We ordered carne asada, but we wanted the carne asada that was prepared. So what I mean is like, they add all the seasoning and everything, so we don't have to add anything. But Enrique said, hey, it doesn't hurt to add more. So we added like some pepper on top of that. And I'm going to be honest with you, dude. Like it was pretty delicious. It was good. Everybody had a good time. We ate great. And the seasoning was there. Like sometimes like carne asada, like Dylan probably knows this, like carne asada, sometimes it tastes not, like it just tastes disgusting. I don't know. Like carne asada is expensive. As right now, meat is expensive. I'm gonna be honest with you. Ribeye, everything went up. I'm not talking about $1. It went up by like $4 or $5 a pound. So I don't know if you guys been up to the market, but it's like a lot. So It's kind of
I
like
mean, a lot of things, have gone up, but I mean, like you can turn a cheap piece of meat into something, extraordinary if you just taste, just try different things and just change, add more, add less, just so that you can get to a point where you like what you're doing, and at that point, you write it down, you keep it, and just learn from it.
Yeah, and one thing I want to say, I'm just going to top this off the podcast. Have fun with the recipes. Have fun. Talk to people. Find out what they do. If you want to like copy a recipe, find out what they do. And if you don't like it, just add your own ingredients, Like it doesn't hurt to add your own ingredients, but make sure that you test, It's like a experiment. Like for me, since I went to school, it's kind of like I'm like working on an experiment, If I don't like it, then next time I do it, then I won't add that. So,
all cooking is just basically science, right?
It's science.
It's all different experiments. Everything that has been as a staple for cooking for ages, it's all been just, trying and test and trials and stuff like that, So just try all these things and try to keep it as healthy as possible, I always tell people, stay away from all these like pre-mixed seasonings and stuff. Try things little by little and you will be healthy.
Yeah. So Dylan, thank you for so much for closing that thought. And I agree with all that, and just have a good time. So if you're cooking and you're listening to this podcast, like make us a cheesecake, we'll be there. Just text us, like send us a DM and we'll be there. Like, right. Like me and Dylan will be the, like, what is it called? What's his name? The one that like, taste test all the foods.
I don't know if I want to say Chef Ramsay, but
okay.
Hey, look, we'll try it out, and then we'll give you some pointers and stuff like that. But
we'll probably give you a 3 out of 10.
Hit up the Baddies if you're cooking something new or you're trying something, and we might actually try to see if we taste it and stuff.
All right, guys. So thank you so much for listening to this podcast. Yeah, we went to Lake Tahoe. Congrats, Herbert, for his birthday and his anniversary. I'm so happy to have Herbert. And Ronnie's not here because he went to his motherland. He went to travel out there. He went to go visit his family. He went back. This is his second time going back, and I'm happy to see him out there. He's so happy out there. He's having a good time with his family and friends. And I just want to say, just stay tuned for the new podcast and the new events going on, such as the softball tournament. And I hope Dylan's going to go to the softball tournament. Dylan, September 24th. Do not put that. It's on the Sunday, bro. Don't say that you have church, because I know that you don't go to church. In the morning, 7:30, we're going to meet up. 8 o'clock, we're going to play softball tournament. Look, I know he's rolling his eyes on me, but you're going to be there. We're going to have a good softball tournament. It's going to be fun. You could bring your dog, and he could have a good time. He could play with the wiffle balls. I don't mind. So we're going to have a good time. So if you guys want to check our Instagram for our reels, TikTok for our fitness videos, and then podcasts in Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and our Spotify. So stay tuned, listen to us, and then we're gonna have some night hikes, because we want to be doing night hikes with the Rika and I and Herbert, Hope, and Ronnie. So stay tuned, guys. Thank you guys so much for listening.